Welcome to the March portion of our 12 months Buddhist practice. For this month, we're going to be doing something a little bit more. We're going to be diving into some other sutras, specifically Mahayana Sutras and also the tales of the Buddha's past lives. So, whether you're inside Mahayana or Theravada, I'm going to have two options for you. And if you're not sure which branch of Buddhism you want to practice in yet, this will give you more insight and more knowledge about these different traditions. So, let's start with Mahayana. And with all of I'm going to give you today, I'll put links and additional information inside the description of this video or inside comments so you can get to it. So with Mahayana, this is a huge portion of Buddhism. You're going to find lots of different schools, traditions inside Mahayana. And because we have all these different Mahayana sutras, all these different schools and traditions may focus on maybe one or a few compared to another one. So there's going to be a lot of different ones out there. I'm just going to start you off with some of the most popular ones. And you can start off with just one. You can start off with just one, or maybe two, or maybe you want to be more adventurous and try a couple. You can absolutely do that, but I would recommend just starting off with one. And maybe next year you're going to be doing a 12 months practice again. Start with another one. Perfectly okay. So with Mahayana, you have a lot of sutras, as I mentioned. The most popular is going to be the Heart Sutra. The Heart Sutra, widely chanted, loved, recited. There's lots of commentaries. So I think this is a good one for you to begin with because you're going to find a lot of information on it. You're going to find lots of translations and lots of commentary. So this is a great one to begin with. Again, it's a really short sutra, which is great for what we're talking about. But the commentaries, explanations by monastics, teachers, is going to be very insightful to help you understand this one. Very foundational one inside Mahayana Buddhism. But we also have like the Diamond Sutra and the Lotus Sutra, also very popular sutras that you can find inside Mahayana. And for example, some schools or traditions inside Mahayana may just focus on just one, maybe just like the Lotus Sutra. So you find that these different schools and traditions find a particular sutra that really speaks to them and really helps them emphasize with their practitioners a particular teaching that can, in some ways, be encapsulating all of Buddhism. So it just depends on the core tradition. You're just being exposed to different ones now. There's also for Pure Land Buddhism, which makes up a large portion of practitioners inside Mahayana. There's the three Pure Land Sutras. You can find the Amitabha Buddha Sutra inside there as well. This is a great one to begin with as well if you want to explore that portion of Buddhism, which is very, very popular across the world, but it can be very long as well. So there's many different sutras you can explore. Don't worry about having to finish a lot on this particular month. If you want to read maybe commentaries or listen to commentaries, for example, like a video or audio, that's a great way to do this as well. Remember, when you finally pick a Buddhist tradition you want to be in, you'll learn what sutras or suttas that are going to be applicable to you. Last month, we were focusing on those core sutras, which is really going to be the same in both branches of Buddhism. Here, we're kind of diving into other ones. So that's my recommendation to you. Start with the Heart Sutra. Even if you're inside Theravada, that'd be great to explore what the other half of Buddhism is learning about, talking about, reciting, chanting. I think it'd be great as well to get that little exposure. And then let's say you're inside Theravada Buddhism, right? And even if you're not, even if you're inside Mahayana, another one that you can explore is going to be the Buddha's past life tales. So the Buddha, before he was a Buddha, before he was even Siddhartha, he was on this bodhisattva path. So a Buddha just doesn't become. They're on this long path as what we call a bodhisattva, working their way up essentially through countless lifetimes until they meet all the right conditions. They have that. They built up all this, compassion and knowledge and everything else to become a Buddha in their final life. And that's what we saw with Siddhartha. The prior life before he became Siddhartha, he was a bodhisattva residing in one of the heavenly realms. So we're seeing that there was this long series of existences before the Siddhartha final existence where he became the Buddha. And the past life tales of the Buddha, fascinating. They're well beloved stories of the Buddha's past lives, but they serve a very important teaching component. As I mentioned, is the Bodhisattva path, right? So very applicable to Mahayana Buddhism, which is the path of the Bodhisattva. But even inside Theravada, Bodhisattvas are recognized as well, but are more specifically focused on the paths of those who are going to become a Buddha, but usually very limited, whereas Mahayana more expansive. Either way, is something that both traditions know about and understand. So, on these past life tales, you learn a lot about compassion, a lot about different situations that have occurred, and how the Buddha in his past lives handled those situations as an unenlightened bodhisattva. And it gives us, as laypersons, lay practitioners, understanding about how even we can interact in our lives and understand different things and apply that to our practice. It doesn't mean the these bodhisattva uh, existences that the Buddha was in the past lives, all these different existences, that we should mimic them or replicate them one to one, but they're teaching moments, right? They're teaching moments. And it's good to always get commentaries about these past life tales as well. So, again, I'll put some links and additional resources inside the comments or descriptions. You can get access to those as well. But I think these are great ones. And if you want to start with these as well, you can. You can just start with these, whether you're Mahayana or Theravada, and start with these ones. And the past life tales, again, you learn about the Buddha's past lives, but you also learn very significant teaching moments. So that's what we're going to do for March. We're going to focus on either Mahayana Sutras, or we're going to focus on the Buddha's past life tales. And remember, you don't have to cram this all into just this year. You can do the 12 months practice every single year, in addition to whatever daily practice or liturgy you have at your particular tradition or school of Buddhism that you're in. This is just a way to explore and build up that threefold training. So let me know what you think about this. Of course, I have my online group as well. We can definitely talk about it there, but drop some comments. Do you have a particular translation that you like, or do you learn something, or have a Dharma talk that you heard about? Yeah, let others know about that, and let's talk about it also. So I'll see you next month for the next part of our 12 months practice.